If you've never flown long-haul KLM economy before, how good or bad do you think it is? Personally, I think you'd be surprised. The following is a full overview of my experience on a 10-hour flight from San Diego to Amsterdam in KLM 7879 economy, and I'm here to tell you, it's actually kind of good. Okay, maybe the slimy pancakes weren't all that great, but everything else was very much on point. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the San Diego International Airport, Terminal 2 West, and I've got a really good one for you today. First of all, my name is Scott. I write airline reviews for a living, which you can read over on Sanspotter.com. And yeah, this is going to be pretty awesome. I'm flying KLM's brand new nonstop service from San Diego all the way to Amsterdam on the Boeing 7879, and I'm going to do it in economy class. Actually, economy comfort, which, don't get excited, it's not premium economy, but it is better than bare bones basic economy, and for the extra $70 or so that I paid for the upgrade, it was definitely worth it, and I think you'll see once I get on the airplane and I start showing you all the little details. But for now, this is pretty exciting. KLM is in San Diego now. They are in Terminal 2 West, and at the time of this video, I flew this on June 3rd, 2025, they had only been in San Diego for 3 weeks, and they don't fly daily yet. I think it's 3 times a week, but so far, I've been hearing that all of the flights have been going out nearly full, so that's a good thing. And again, it's kind of hard not to get ahead of myself here, but as you'll see, this flight was nearly 100% full as well. So far so good for KLM in San Diego. As far as the details go, this is KLM flight number 640. It is scheduled to depart at 1:55 p.m., and so far, everything seems to be running on time today. To be honest, I was expecting the worst when I showed up this morning. You can't always expect smooth sailing with a new airline serving a new-to-them airport, so going into it with an open mind and a little bit of patience usually is the best way to go. This flight was departing all the way at the end, gate number 51. That is the far west end of the San Diego airport. You can't go any more west than that. However, it is one of the most spacious gate areas we have here at the San Diego airport, so it's a pretty decent place to hang out, stretch out, loosen up, or basically whatever you need to do to prepare yourself for long-haul economy class. The scheduled flying time for this flight was exactly 10 hours, and that is a very long way to go in economy class, and believe me, I tried very hard to get into business class, or even premium economy, but everything was sold out, extremely expensive. However, somehow I got really lucky with economy class, because I was able to book this one-way ticket for just 22,000 KLM Air France points, which is incredibly cheap for long-haul economy. And of course, I did pay the extra $70 to upgrade to economy comfort, and as I said, that was totally worth it. I could justify it, and yeah. I actually don't mind not flying business class or premium economy if I can get a really good deal on economy, as I did in this case, so it's all good. No complaints from me. They did manage to get the boarding process started exactly on time today, which is, as I said, surprising, considering it's a new airline, new airport. And yeah, here we are. Seat 19G, Economy Comfort. It's a basic economy class seat. Looks pretty good. It's definitely KLM with all that light blue, but I like it. Although I do kind of regret not wearing my light blue shirt today. Oh well. So yeah, this looks really good. It's a 3-3-3 layout here in economy. Quite spacious, if I don't say so myself. Not quite premium economy. Things are a little tight, especially under the seat here. I got it in there, no problems. And this extra leg room is definitely worth it. There are full-size power outlets in these seats, as well as USB power located under the video screens. And the video screens themselves are pretty nice. A little bit too glossy for my liking, but I'm not one to complain all that much with legroom this good. I'm liking this. I'm also liking that middle seat open. I hope it stays that way. We'll see. But otherwise, yeah, this is definitely KLM. Everything about this is KLM. The boarding music, the colors and textures and fabrics, and even the in-flight magazine here. It's definitely Dutch. There's no mistaking this for Delta or United or even American. And I quite like it. And I'll be honest, long-haul economy from one airline to the next is pretty much the same. It's usually all the little details that make a difference, and I'm happy to report that there are a lot of those little details here on the KLM 7879. Speaking of little, we got little earbuds here, and these were terrible. I'll talk more about these in a moment after we take off, but yeah, I told you this was going to be like regular economy class. It's definitely not premium economy, which you can see right up there in front of that bulkhead wall. It's not that much different. Seats are a little bit wider, but for just 22,000 points and $70 extra, this isn't so bad. Vincent van Gogh here doesn't seem to be as impressed, but what does he know? I'm having a good time so far. By the way, if you've ever been curious to know how I make my living writing about airlines, and you want to know more about how I'm able to travel so much, and you want to know all my thoughts and feelings, all the unfiltered stuff that I don't talk about in my blog posts or my videos, you gotta sign up to my newsletter. Link in the description below. Anyway, there was a slight delay getting off the gate. It turns out that they couldn't quite plug the fuel hose into the wing, or something like that. The captain tried to explain it, but basically it was a fueling issue, which caused us to be about 20 minutes late. They got us pushed back at 2:14 p.m., which was, as I said, 20 minutes behind schedule. So, not necessarily the fault of KLM, as they certainly did their part to get us out of here on time today. Oh, and yeah, that seat next to me did remain vacant, which was really, really nice. And this was the only empty seat I found on the entire airplane. Throughout the course of the entire flight, I was walking up and down the aisle, stretching my legs and going to the lavatory. I didn't see any other empty seats except the one next to me, so I definitely got lucky, and I will say that it made this flight so much more enjoyable. Being able to stretch out, do some man spreading, it was awesome. Speaking of stretching out, you can see the seat recline in these seats. It's pretty good. I don't think it's any different than what you would get in standard economy, though. In terms of amenities, they came by with these moist hand wipes, not quite a hot towel, and then we also got a big bottle of water, which I very much appreciated, almost as much as I appreciated the very large video screens. I don't know if they're very large, but they were at least 13 inches, maybe 14. But, as I said, they were very glossy, and even with the cabin lights on like this and all windows dimmed, the reflections on the screen made watching it difficult. And it wasn't until much later in the flight, when all the lights were off and it was completely black, that it became not so noticeable. Something I did notice is how terrible these earbuds are. They're extremely cheap, but they are KLM Blue, so I guess that's a good thing. They plug in right there underneath the video screen, but really, you're going to have a much better in-flight entertainment experience if you bring your own headphones. If you don't have your own, however, I recommend watching a movie that you know very well, so you don't have to worry about trying to listen to everything. For me, it was Ocean's 11, a movie I've seen at least 15 times. I know all the words, so not being able to hear all the little details was fine. I knew what was going on. They kicked off the cabin service about 45 minutes after takeoff, and we had two choices. It was either a vegetarian ravioli or some chicken kind of dish. They didn't even tell us what it was. It was just chicken or ravioli. Of course, I went with the chicken. And, you know, I've got to say, the quality of the food was much better than what I was expecting. It wasn't quite as good as what I had in Turkish Airlines economy once, which I still consider to be the best economy class food in the entire world. But this was good. It was very hearty, portion size was decent, but the utensils, they were pretty much worthless. Couldn't even pick up green beans with those. The wine was pretty good. I just chose the red. I had no idea what I was getting. It was decently tasty, went well with the meal, so no complaints from me. I guess I was more shocked than anything else, because I certainly wasn't expecting KLM food to be this good, or KLM economy class food. I have flown KLM business class before, and I knew the food was pretty good. The wine wasn't bad either. I have no idea what it was. I know nothing about wine, but It tasted good, it was free, and I don't know. I thought it paired nicely with whatever it was that I ate. I have no idea what that was either. Chicken and potatoes. So, it's all good. Speaking of good, these blankets and pillows were excellent. It was a huge blanket, and I can't remember the last time I had a blanket this large in economy class, whether it's short haul, long haul, or whatever. Yet another surprise was this after-dinner snack service. I think that's what they called it. Not only did they come by with all sorts of drinks, not just coffee and tea, it was any kind of drink you wanted, whether it's soda, beer, wine, whatever, and there was also a little snack to go with it. I got a little brownie, which was nice. Certainly didn't need it after such a large meal, but it was really nice to see the cabin crew being so proactive way back here in economy. Meanwhile, way back here in the aft lavatory, I was happy to see Dutch-themed wallpaper. That's kind of nice. It was just another one of those little details that I wasn't expecting, but it was nice to see. It just made it all that much more KLM, more Dutch feeling. So, a generic long-haul economy experience, this was not. And I also think it's worth mentioning that everything that you've seen so far here in economy comfort isn't anything special, or it's not anything more than you would get in standard economy. So that big blanket, that big pillow, the bottle of water, the after-dinner drink service and snack service, that's just all economy class. The only thing you get with extra comfort is that extra legroom. And if you're over 6 feet tall, I think it's something you definitely need to do. I'm 5'10", and it was perfect for me as I stuffed my face with the mid-flight snack. I believe that was a brownie. Lots of brownies on this flight, which I like. Brownies are good. If you ever see me and I'm grumpy, just give me a brownie. It's going to improve my mood immediately. Things weren't totally perfect, though. I think if there was one thing that I didn't like about this flight, it's the fact that they set the cabin temperature so high. Normally I'm the kind of person who freezes on a flight, and I'm always wishing that they would turn up the temperature, but I was toasty on this flight, uncomfortably so, and that's not something that I normally experience on a Western airline. Oh well, breakfast is served, which is perfect timing considering I'm talking about things that I didn't like. What is that? I like pancakes, but what is the slime on those pancakes? I never quite figured out what that was. It wasn't anything really sweet. Oh, and there's that fork again. I just can't pick anything. That was ridiculous. You might consider bringing your own utensils with you as well, if you can get them through security, because these are pretty much worthless. But anyway, yeah, that breakfast, it was pancakes, which are good, but there was some kind of a slime all over the top of them, which, I don't know, it didn't really add to the experience. It wasn't syrup, it wasn't caramel, I don't know what it was, but it didn't look all that good, and honestly, didn't taste all that good either. However, in the grand scheme of things, those were the only two things. It was the pancakes and then cabin temperature. Those were the only two things that I didn't like about this flight. Everything else was excellent. Paying the extra $70 for extra comforts was definitely the right move. I would do that again. I would recommend that. Legroom is a precious commodity on long-haul economy class flights, and you gotta take whatever you can get to make the flight a better experience, in my opinion. This was definitely worth it. Anyway, we landed at 8:51 a.m., which is 14 minutes ahead of schedule. So, despite getting off the gate 20 minutes late back in San Diego, we arrived in Amsterdam early, which, now that I think about it, is even more surprising because the weather wasn't all that great in Amsterdam when we landed. Overcast, rainy, foggy, but they got us here on time, and all in all, what an excellent flight. Having nonstop service on KLM from San Diego is just what that airport needed. There's so much traffic between Europe and San Diego, both directions, and I think this flight's going to do well. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next one.